All right. Okay. So the other thing that you're going to run into is that they're already under contract with another company and they're not eligible until a certain day. Okay. There is nothing that we can do for them at the moment. Last week, up until last week, we were able to do what was called a port freeze exception, which allowed us to get them out of a contract if we proved that they moved from that address. Okay, these phones are associated with addresses. So if they had a different address than the address that was attached to that contract, then we could get them out of the contract and get them a new phone.
Right.
With the new provider, which would be us. They recently changed the app to where we can't do those right now. So it could possibly change in the future in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We don't know. Okay, that could change. We might be able to do them again. We might not. So you should know that. Right? The only thing that customer can do is they can call the company that they're with and ask them for a phone. Now, I know with some of the other providers charge $35 for a phone. Like Wireless Q-Link, they charge $35 for a phone. Whenever you, so they would have to call them and buy their phone in order to pick up service. What I usually do is tell them to check back in a few weeks. I might be able to do it again. Okay. Now, this is a video. This might be outdated then. You know, by the time you watch this video, we might be able to do them again. So, who knows? In other words, if it says they can't get a phone until a certain day, tell them to check back in a few weeks. If we're not able to do port freeze exceptions at that time. Okay. So,
we go check it, and pork chops might need to be turned.
All right. The next thing that we're going to cover, are you still with me? Yep. Are you hear me? Yep. All right. The next thing that we're going to cover is checking on your enrollments. Okay, you'll go into the dashboard and you'll look and see what you've done for the day. If you go to pending enrollments or see recent enrollments, it'll show your pendings. You can look at them and it'll show what they're requiring.
Okay.
And it has to be green in order for us to be paid. In other words, it has to be qualified. It has to be qualified for them to get a phone, for Safelink to get paid, for us to get paid, etc. Okay? Everybody has to be happy, right? Okay. So,
Jam right there.
You want to check your pending enrollments and see what's going on with them. Now, sometimes these pending enrollments won't be qualified until the next morning. They should be, all of them should be finalized by 8:30 or 9 o'clock the next morning. Okay. So, if you have, sometimes they miss one or two. You'll look at it, it'll say pending, but everything on it says approved. All right. They wanted a picture of the food stamp card. They wanted a picture of the ID. They wanted a picture of the Social Security card. Whatever it is that they wanted, you provided. They approved it. So it's good, right?
Right.
But it's still pending. What we got to do, we got to call Safelink and ask for extension 1013.
Write that down.
Extension 1013 is the extension for the office that can turn a pending enrollment into a qualified enrollment.
Okay.
What they will do is they will look at that enrollment and they will say, everything's approved, I'll send its qualification, bam, it turns green.
Nice.
You get paid.
Yay, that's what I need.
That's what we want.
Don't
want to
leave
get
money on
paid.
the table.
Right?
Everybody wants to get paid.
We want to get paid. You want to get paid? Let's get paid. You got to buy some new shoes, right? All right. And Daddy needs a new Harley.
Yes. Let's go.
All right. So you want to check on your pendings. The other thing that you want to do when you're looking at your pending enrollments, if you have some that are rejected, look and see why they're rejected. There's a little red dot, a little red circle beside the rejected button. Right, so it'll say rejected. There's a little red circle. You hit that, touch that button, and it'll tell you why it was rejected. Okay. And what's it going to say? It's going to say not all four corners of the card were in the picture. It's going to say wrong program proof selected, which means that you selected Medicaid, but you took a picture of a food stamp card.
Oops.
It'll say PII does not match the account. In other words,
Personal
the name doesn't match the card that you showed.
Right.
You took a picture of a food stamp card that said Jane Doe. The application said Jane Smith.
Right.
Or you put 2 E's. You accidentally hit 2 E's on Jane Smith, and that's what happened. Or
How do you correct it?
the other thing is that the food stamp card could be wrong. So always look at the food stamp card or the Medicaid card and make sure the name on there is right. Okay? Because let's say that he has a really long name. Christopher Muhammad Ali Gonzalez. Okay? They couldn't fit all that on the card.
Right.
Right? So what they got is they got Christopher Muhammad Ali Gonz.
So they can fit.
All right? They didn't have the rest of that on. So in other words, that application would be rejected because it doesn't match the name on the application. If you run into that situation, the answer to that is to have them bring up a letter from Medicaid or food stamps saying that they were approved for Medicaid. It's called an approval letter. They can go down to the Medicaid office, they can go down to the food stamp office, etc., and get a copy of it right then and there that day. Or they can call the local office. Don't call the main office, call the local office. And the local office will mail them a copy of their approval letter. It takes about 2 days to get it. And then just let them know, hey, I'll be back up here next week. Look for the big yellow tent. You'll find me.
Right.
Okay? So that's what you want to do. PII. Basically, the name doesn't match.
I'm just putting error.
Sure,
I know what it is.
absolutely.
Thank you. I'm trying to burn the chair.
So, cut that and I'm on.